Good day, everybody. This is Calxiyn here, and thank you for attending Calxiyn's Royal Court today, where we are gathered to do my reaction and my discussion to Beastars Season 2, Episode 8. I hope that you guys will enjoy it, but remember to subscribe to be notified about when I post a Beastars video. Join the Discord server if you want to talk about Beastars Season 2 with us, or some other anime with us, or just with us outside of just this comment section. We have a really nice community on there, and thank you to all the patrons and YouTube membership members for allowing me to make videos like these. Obviously, there's a lot of work put into them. They're usually very long. I guess we'll see how long this one is. And I have basically kind of been doing this. I don't know when you guys will see this one, but this has been like my giant summer project, and I've been working like almost every day on this. And so I just really appreciate the support. I'm glad to see that you guys enjoy them, even if you can't be patrons. Obviously, those comments mean a lot to me. And so make sure to leave some. And with that out of the way, let's just get into it. Oh, they're so cute. Oh, see, she is a carnivore, but she... Oh my god, beast fucking cheese! Aww! Damn. Oh, really? Oh, okay. Well, that kind of like, that's what I was saying last week, is that herbivores may be more like in power, you know? Oh. Whoa, 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 whoa. Oh man, that was like a forceful. Oh, so see, they don't just use her for a profile picture. They want to hang out like really with her. This is kind of nice that we're learning about more like people, you know? Oh, look at them. They're so cute. Oh, see, she's worried about like whether her friendships are real, you know? Oh. Oh, but I really like her. Oh, it's not her fault. Oh, damn. Oh, wow. Oh, yeah, she is very pretty. Oh. Oh. Oh, see? Her friend didn't know. See? Mutual understanding. That's nice. Oh, that's true. Oh, friendship. Oh, this is so nice. Ooh. Oh, see? They're learning about each other. Look at that. That's so cool. Uh-oh. See? Look at what they both have to deal with. Oh, that's so cute. Oh. 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 Oh, look at them touching. That's so cute. Look at this gals being pals, female friendship. Oh. Oh, see? They're like social media upset. See, I don't think she minds anymore, you know? Because like now they're actual friends. Oh, look at that. So cute. Oh, geez. This guy's deranged. Oh, God, he's eating a stick. Oh, God, I can't. I don't know if you guys realize during these Beastars videos, but like God, they do so bad. They do so bad stuff with like, spit and, you know what I mean? Makes me sick. Anything with saliva makes me sick. Oh, damn. Wow! Whoa, bro! Oh my God, he just threw him! Jesus Christ! A doggy? He calls him a doggy too? Jesus Christ. Oh damn, his eyes are so creepy. Jesus Christ, this guy's crazy. Come on, Legoshi! Bro. Oh, his muscles, his skin or his jacket? His meat is tough. Damn! Ah, shit! Oh, I get it. Okay. I got it now. So it's like he's almost developing herbivore fighting tactics, but with wolf strength and no need for the teeth, you know? Ah, damn, Legacy, you tell him. Ah, look look at that. Oh, the same play? They do the same play all the time? Oh, okay, well that's cool. Oh, well, that's nice. She seems nervous though, or like scared or something. Wait, what? Why? Oh, that's weird. Juno disagrees. Oh. Oh, see? She just wants to keep them at a distance. Uh-oh. Damn! I was just thinking that Haru would be with those rabbits. Damn. Damn! Oh, man! Juno! Why are you stalking this girl? I've always wanted to see, though, how, them talk to each other, though. Sis! They didn't even know, bro! Oh, man. Damn. Oh, so she knew someone was following her. Oh. Oh my god, I love it here. This is like a very, female-centric episode. I really like that. That's nice. Oh, damn. Ah, damn, she grabbed her tail? Ah, look at her face! What was that kind of face for? Oh, she wants to use Juno for manual labor? Oh. They're good for the soil, sis. Damn. Ah, damn! The English dub for this? Oh. Damn. That was not smarter, sis! Damn. Oh, damn! Jesus Christ! Did she say that out loud? I love Haru, damn! Oh, yeah! Just us girls! Yay! We love to see it! I love a Just Us Girls episode! Oh! Oh, she... Oh, damn! Oh! Whoa, whoa, whoa! Are we sure we're just us girls, sis? Whoa, whoa! Oh! Whoa, Juno! Oh! Oh! But it won't be Louis either. Damn! Damn! That sounds a little bisexual, Juno, you know what I mean? She's like, oh, she'll ruin my life like she did with the boys. Like, that sounds like you'll get sucked into her attraction. Wait, what? Damn! Damn. Oh, was Rui daydreaming? Damn. Thinking about the past. What is happening here? I'm confused. Okay. Wait, what? Oh, he wants to protect. Oh. Oh, damn. Oh, but Ibuki just wanted to be protective of him. But why? Like, I don't get it. What is his business? Oh, damn. I love the sarcasm. Huh? Fatigue recovery. I wonder what that means. Like I don't know, maybe he was in the hospital or something once. Wow, really, sis? Oh, fuck you, Rui. Okay? Seriously? God damn it. Really? He just said fuck Haru, I guess. Bullshit. Why would he do that? Why? Oh my god, I need to think about this episode. There was some stuff I didn't understand. Like, why was that guy getting his stuff cut off? All right, everybody, let us get into the review. And I think that this episode was very, like, refreshing. Like, I just felt like it was a really cool episode, like to see things, I guess, from more of the female characters' perspectives. Like, yes, we still had stuff going on with Legoshi and Rui, but I felt like that we had a little, like, detour that was actually very, very nice, right? So we start with the cheetah girl. I'm not entirely sure what her name is. She's taking pictures with her friends, and, you know, they have kind of like, oh yes, let's add a filter, da-da-da-da-da, like very, like, you know, regular conversation type of thing. And so she's monologuing to herself, female cheetah, 18, I'm in the most formative years of my life. You know what, Peach? I think that she's about to say, like, something to her about not wanting to be in the photo, but then, like, she changes her mind. That's how it seems like for a second, because she looks down and then she's like, no, I'm totally fine, like, never mind, right? We don't really know what was on her mind in that moment, if she was gonna ask her to hang out like she does later in the episode, or if it was about the picture, obviously. And so then, of course not. This is an awful time to live in, right? And so I think that, like, her and Juno were probably talking about, you know, like, it'd be like this, I guess, if that makes sense. Not only with the threats of their clubs closing, but then also, like, just the period that they're at in their lives, you know, that sort of like teenage, like puberty type, coming of age type, you know, you're a wolf, you understand that, right? And so I think that that means, though, more so like in like the segregation sense, like the threat of the segregation on the school. It's like, you understand, like, this is the worst period to live in, you're a wolf, like, you must get it because we're both carnivores, right? Like, that's the whole idea here, I think. But see, Juno doesn't want to admit until later in the episode that she actually does want them, herbivores and carnivores, to be split up, right? And so she kind of like looks away, and then she's like, oh, but like, you know, carnivores and herbivores in one photo is appealing to everybody. I'm sure you're on Beastbook all the time, right? And so it seems like she's also just tired of like that social media culture in a way, you know, like having to take pictures of everything and stuff like that. But I'm only friends with those I'm close with, because they talk about like popularity, basically, I guess you could say. And you see Juno with some girls, which I think like that's kind of cute to see, like Juno's friends or people that she hangs out with, right, outside of, I guess, just like the drama club, right? Because we haven't really seen her other friends. It seems like that she's on like one of her friends in particular's profile, because her friend is in this photo, and then the initial photo as well. Oh, which direction am I going? Okay, yeah, she's in this photo, right? Like in that photo as well. Like she's in all of the pictures. I guess herbivores tend to get more followers, right? That's just the way it is. And so they say something interesting here, that like the social media, I don't want to call it clout chasing, but you know, the accumulation of like likes, I guess. The reason herbivores tend to worry about what others think is because of their defensive instinct that we can't understand. So they're basically saying that the reason why like a lot of herbivores, I guess, like use social media and try to get that validation, or I guess because herbivores worry about what other people think, you could also argue that maybe that makes them seek validation on social media. So it's sort of like, did the chicken cause it or did the egg cause it? You know what I mean? Like, it's one of those things. But I would say that yes, like a lot of herbivores probably go to social media to fulfill that like social need, because they worry about like what other people like think of them and stuff, and that's only heightened or given more prominence or like platformed on social media as well. Because I'm sure that it happened before social media, but I think that social media could be both an outlet for that, for like this defensive instinct and like worrying about what people think and getting validation as a herbivore, but then also like is probably harmful to that as well. Like how regular social media is to humans, right? Like it can be a helpful experience where, you know, you find a community, you find kind of validation in your interests that you may not get in your real life, but at the same time it can be like damaging to you. And I feel like that she, the cheetah, does not really like want to play like the social media game, if that makes sense, right? We carnivores should at least let them take pictures with us. And so she's like, you know, it's the least that they can do, I guess, as carnivores. That's her mentality. And so, like, look at her. She's just like, I guess you're right, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think that she really feels that, though. She just wanted Juno to, like, validate her concerns, and then Juno was like, LOL, no, that's funny, right? And so they're taking more pictures later. Juno, how do I endure this like you do? I'll post this on Beastbook. So that's her friend Peach talking. I mean, what the hell is a defense instinct? Why should carnivores take all the blame, right? And so you see that she's kind of, like, angry, right? And I think, like, the crux of this is that she felt like she was just being used for pictures, that they had no real interest in her, like, as a person or, like, as a friend, right? And so that's why she goes to, like, grab her and then, like, ask, do you want to hang out, right? And I like how they said both as a cheetah and, like, a woman, because I feel like that's so interesting, because you have, like, the whole carnivore thing, obviously, but then you also have, like, social media affects young women disproportionately, I think. Like, that's what I've heard. Okay, don't quote me on that, but it is to my understanding that especially social media apps, more so like Instagram, can really, like, impact, you know, confidence of teenage girls and stuff like that. And so it's not just teenage girls, but, like, there have been studies done on that specifically, right? And so I feel like that her mentality is like, yes, I'm a carnivore, but I still can't, like, stand for this as a cheetah or, like, just as a woman, you know what I mean? Like, I need to know if my female friendships are real, if we're actually, like, you know, in this, like, I don't know, this sisterhood, I guess, right? Like, that's sort of the mentality I would think, you know, like, I need to know if our, like, female friendship is real and not just, like, for clout. Like, I'm sure that a lot of the young people have to worry about that, especially with popularity and such things, right? And so you see, I can't stand this kind of relationship anymore. And I think that what she's talking about is, like, the relationship of, like, not knowing if your friends are really your friends and stuff like that, right? Some stuff that we tend to, like, associate with those kind of, like, teenage years, I guess, you know? Like, I feel like that a lot of teenagers kind of have to worry, well, is this person just friends with me because I have, like, a pool at my house, or I have a lot of social media followers, or I'm, you know, like, on the volleyball team? Like, I don't know. I'm kind of, like, I guess I'm, like, out of touch now or whatever, but I remember that, like, definitely, like, being a concern. Like, are the people that you surround yourself in high school really your friends type thing, right? And so she grabs her, and I feel like that this was supposed to be kind of like, I don't want to say to make us uncomfortable, but I feel like after last episode with the arm getting ripped off, we were definitely, like, supposed to worry. And I saw a lot of other people post about that too, that they were afraid that the cheetah was gonna hurt Peach. And I feel like that they almost did that and did the framing intentionally to make us worry about that, because now we're gonna kind of be on the edge of our seat as our carnivore characters try to interact and try to be friends with their herbivore friends, right? And we're always gonna be kind of, like, paranoid about it, right? And so she says that they can go hang out, and I think that they're, like, so cute together, and I just love seeing, like, normal life, I guess you could call it, right? Like, I love seeing there's some, like, models here, but instead of mannequins, they have, like, little ears, and I thought that was so cool. And then you have, like, a mouse girl in the background. Like, oh, I just thought that this was, like, so great. Like, I just love it whenever we see, like, the outside, if that makes sense, right? We also have, like, those mannequins with the ears in the background that I love. And so she wants to get some winter clothing, right? And so they're like, oh, you know, was she just being thoughtful, right? Like, did she just basically, like, agree to go with me out of, like, pity, I guess you could say, right? And again, that's also a very, like, prevalent concern, especially among teenagers, right? So I'm really happy with what this episode was showcasing, right? Like, she's like, you know, it's so awkward. Like, I'm sorry, we'll head back soon. Like, she's trying to think to herself, like, I'm sorry for putting you through this. I know that you don't actually want to hang out with me. Like, she's a little, like, self-deprecating, if that makes sense. She thinks that she just went out with her out of kind of, like, again, like, kind of, like, pity or something, like, equivalent, you know? Just like, oh, she felt bad for me, or I was too forceful and she couldn't say no, like, type of thing. She doesn't really want to be my friend. Like, that's sort of the attitude that I feel like the cheetah girl has. And then she gets sort of like, I don't know, I guess these guys were whispering to themselves, but, like, weirdly catcalled by these guys. They're like, oh yeah, she's got a great figure, do you want to try? Nah, not a chance. And then they just both go away. You're popular, aren't you, Shelia? And she's just like, yeah, like, you know what I mean? Like, look at the look on her face. She's just like, what? And so I just really value these, like, you know, like, slice of life, like, real, like, sisterhood conversation. I know that, take a shot every time I say sisterhood this episode. Don't do that. But, you know, I feel like that's something that we definitely, you know, I feel like a lot of like young people, not necessarily just young women, but like I can only speak from my perspective that I have always craved that, like a group of female friends and like us doing like the sisterhood things together and stuff like that, right? And so I feel like that, like this episode just hit on like so many conversations, right? Like, oh, you know, like, oh yeah, you must be popular with the boys, but then maybe somebody else in your group like isn't, and the conversations around that, like trying to build each other up for the qualities that you do have. Like, yes, they're different, but still, you know what I mean? And they kind of bring that up. It's like, well, you can wear whatever you want versus me, I can't do that, right? So it's kind of like there isn't a direct comparison with like real life, I guess, but it's kind of like, you know, well, I can't wear patterned clothes, you can wear whatever color you want to, like, you know, bring out your like beautiful fur and stuff. Like that's like sort of the mentality, I guess you could say. And so I just find that like really cute, I guess. I just find that like very compelling. And I also like this scene just because they're realizing like each other's struggles, you know, because she's kind of thought like, oh, like, you know, Sheila's so tall, Sheila's so pretty, and she's a carnivore, what does she have to worry about? But then Peach says, even someone like you has worries, of course, right? It's boring that I can only wear solid colors. You're all white, so any color would match, right? And so I think that that's like, again, like sort of that, like within your friend group or within your like friend circle or classmates, like, you know, you may not know, I guess, where you stand with each other, what you think of each other, stuff like that. And so, you know, like she saw Sheila as like tall and pretty and popular, but Sheila has problems, and then like Peach has her own problems, of course, as well, right? And they learn to understand each other's problems in this episode, which I really enjoyed. Like I just thought, and like this is really cute, like how about we look for clothes, I think, for her clothes, right? And I really like this because I feel it's like, hey, you think I'm like fashionable and stuff, so I can pick out clothes for you if you want. Like it's a little like, have you guys ever seen Wicked? And like Glinda has this song called Popular that she sings to Elphaba, and she's like, you know, I'm gonna style you, I'm gonna teach you how to talk to boys, right? It's that like, it's just it's a great song, and I feel like that it kind of like really fits in with the situation, right? Like I feel like that it just really works with what's going on here. She's like, hey, if you think I'm stylish and like, you know, fashionable and stuff, like let me like pick out your clothes, you know? And so it's like they're helping each other out, and it's that like, you know, again, that girlhood experience, I guess, of like going shopping together and stuff. And like, again, it's not only like limited to like, you know, girls, right? Obviously, you know, anyone of any gender can like relate to this somehow. But I'm just saying, like, I guess like it's just something that I've always kind of wanted, like as a girl. I guess that's like kind of a better way to say it. And it's something that you see in like movies a lot, or like musicals. Like I just said, like Wicked, that's like the whole point of the song is like, you know, Glinda trying to like make Elphaba like fashionable and stuff, and them having kind of like not even a montage, but them having like a scene together of like doing that and stuff. And so yeah, I don't know, like I just I felt like that this scene was really good too, because it's like, oh, you know, it causes static, right? Like that's something that like she didn't think of before. And it's like, oh yeah, so you have limitations too in a way, right? Like we both got our own worries. Like there's more mutual understanding when they reach out to each other. And I feel like that she didn't really expect for Sheila is her name, to be like this, right? And Sheila was all nervous about like, oh, I don't know if she really likes me, I don't know if she really wanted to hang out. But then by the end of it, they both like really enjoy each other's company, right? And like she appreciates like Sheila's effort and thought. Like I think that there was like awkwardness on both sides. Like Peach didn't really know if like Sheila like really wanted to hang out with her, but Sheila didn't really know if Peach wanted to hang out with her. Like it was a whole thing, right? And so I thought that that was like so cute just to see them like shopping together and like, oh, you would look good in this. And there's some dresses back there that I love, right? I'm really sorry that I was secretly scared of you earlier, right? And so, you know, she was afraid of her, but then she realized that like Sheila is very kind, and like, you know, that she was trying really hard to make her happy and stuff. And I just thought that that was nice, and she loved the scarf so much that she wore it right away. I think it's funny because like Peach was also having so much fun that she totally forgot about Beast Book and like social media and stuff. So I think that's like a nice subtle like little social media commentary, you know? And so they take a really cute picture together for their first outing, as they say, right? And so we see that. But yeah, I just think that like they're so cute, and I like the little like subtle social media commentary, right? It's like, I had so much fun with you, I didn't even think about social media because I didn't need validation from social media, like you validated me today, right? And so okay, so something weird, and I don't know if this is gonna be important, but this wolf back here, like I don't know. He seemed like more prominent than the other characters for some reason, and I feel like he's like hella shady. You know what I mean? Especially he looked at them too. Like, look at everybody else in the background. Like, everyone else in the background kind of seems flat somehow, right? But for some reason, this guy looked like he just pops out, right? And so I'm a little worried. I don't know what that could mean, but like, is she gonna get like a social media stalker or something? It's such a nice photo. I want to keep it to myself, right? Because she's like, oh yeah, well, you know, I don't need the social media validation, right? I already got Shelia. And so she thinks that at first, and like Sheila's like, oh, you're not posting it? But then she like quickly changes her mind. So there's still like some effort to go. And so she changes her mind. She's like, you know, like, oh, I'm posting it, right? And she kind of has like that little anime like thump, you know what I mean? But like still, you know, I think that it's a struggle, I guess, right? Like obviously there are some pictures that I take that I'm like, oh, I just want to take a picture. And then later I'm just like, nah, I want to post it on twitter.com, right? Like that's like my sort of mentality. So I totally get it. But yeah, I thought that this was just like a nice little section between them. Like it was just nice to see them like doing stuff together like that. And it was a nice little break too from obviously like the blood and the havoc from last episode. And so I definitely like approve. I think that it was really, really good. And meanwhile, Legoshi is dealing with like this hyena man who is, I guess, biting through bones in the trash. I don't think he's killed anyone yet. I'm not sure entirely. He's meat addicted, right? But he's biting through a bone and he was in like the trash pile, right? So I'm not really sure because he does say something later on like, oh, you know, let's see, he can no longer be satisfied unless he kills the prey himself. But it seems like he hasn't gone that far yet. It's like Gohan is like interfering before he gets to that point, right? So in terms of like the jaw thing, right, they're talking about Legoshi's jaw strength here. Does that mean I'm getting old? Is that sarcasm? The fact your jaw got weaker is proof that the meat training was a success. And so here's my mentality with that. I think it's because like your teeth exist. Your teeth exist like revelations, Cal. Oh my God. Your teeth, revolutionary. Your teeth exist to eat different things, right? Like sometimes some of your teeth exist to eat meat. Some of your teeth exist for like vegetables and stuff. Like you have canine teeth and then you have like other teeth. Okay, like I don't know anything about teeth, guys, okay? I don't know anything about anything. How do they let me, like who let me in here? Anyway, so like all that being said, in Legoshi's case, he has like teeth that were mostly, I'm assuming, made for meat, right? And now he's not eating meat anymore. So his jaw getting weaker is actually his body being like, ah, shit, we don't need this. Like we don't need this jaw, right? At least that's my like headcanon about it anyway, right? And so then they go to capture him and Gohan explains like, yeah, that's my job. How did you feel when you realized that your jaw was becoming weaker? Because I feel like that's an important question. Like if Legoshi was like sad or like angry about it, that would kind of be an indication that he wants to go back to like the way things were. But he doesn't seem to like have any regret about it. He's like, actually I wasn't, I was just kind of confused, bro, you know what I'm saying? And so then he puts like the muzzle on him and then Gohan, this was so funny, Gohan just like throws him over the edge like, whee! And I was like, what the fuck, Gohan, right? So I think that he was checking to make sure that like Legoshi was still like committed. I don't have a lot to say about this scene, like the fight scene. It was also like really dark on my monitor for some reason. So like I can barely see, I don't know. It's probably just because like obviously I have two lights in here. You know what I mean? Like if I, you know, put some distance between me and the lights, I can definitely see better. But obviously I can't do my reactions like that. But yeah, I just think it's funny how they're like, oh yeah, I smell a puppy, or they said like doggy in English, and they're like, you know, the trend of Legoshi being called doggy continues, right? It does actually, maybe I was wrong about this guy having no victims, because he says something like, it's actually tough to kill herbivores. Did you know they have really strong limbs? Look at what they did to me, right? And so it seems to imply that like maybe he tried but didn't succeed, or maybe he has killed some people. I don't know. Right? I thought that Gohan like got involved before it was too late, but maybe it was too late for someone, who knows, right? They developed their limbs to fight against our fangs, right? And so that's interesting, right? Because when you think about it, Legoshi has wolf limbs, but with now the same like toughness as like herbivore limbs. So he can have carnivore strength, right? Like as a wolf, but then also like his limbs have, I don't know, developed to like resist the teeth marks or something. You know what I mean? It's like Legoshi is slowly becoming like best of both worlds, because he's even saying like, like it's super hard, right? Like Legoshi's like skin and his muscle and shit, right? And so then he's realizing about the limbs. Why do all carnivores with their fangs out look the same? I see emotions in herbivores' limbs as they try to survive, right? And so he's basically saying, you know, with carnivores bearing their fangs, there's really like nothing there. They all look the same. But when herbivores use their limbs to fight back, like there is something there. There is like desperation. There is like sadness. There is fear, right? And so basically what Legoshi goes on to say, I think, he has to pull his emotions into his limbs, and that's how he can like win. And this reminded me of like stuff like My Hero Academia, right? Like where you have Deku, like, you know, you see all the green like going through his hand, I guess you could say. And so it's interesting because like Legoshi is a wolf who is learning herbivore tactics, and he's kind of getting like the best of both worlds that way, and I think that's great. And I love this too. It's like, I'm not a dog, by the way, I'm a wolf. Like that was great. Meanwhile, an interesting development we have now is that Juno is going to play Adler, which I think is really cool because they've sort of like subverted it almost every time in a way, right? Like now, like Juno is both a carnivore and she's also like a girl, right? I totally forgot, because I think that like Rui, I don't remember if they said it was traditionally played by a herbivore or not, but even that was subverted when Rui like couldn't go on anymore, right? Because Bill was Bill Adler? I don't remember. It's been too long, but you understand what I mean? Like they've subverted it like a lot, like almost every time, right? And so now you have a carnivore, but then you also have a girl playing Adler for the first time. And so then we get to see like the other clubs, which I think is really cool. The other clubs are trying their best to do better than ever, right? Because they want to protest against like the segregation plans, obviously. So it seems like they have tennis, they have fencing, because we have somebody in a fencing mask. They have baseball, probably volleyball too, because one of the girls has like knee pads, I think. And I can't tell like who the person with the robe is in the back. That may be like a more like traditional club of some sort. We have like a music club, cheerleading, badminton, music, possibly like a book club, an artist club. I'll just show you guys again like this side of the screen. Now, I just think that it's so cool to see like the variety of like animal types and stuff like that. Like whenever we get to see them, this episode was like full of them with the outing, and then also like scenes like this. So I think that that's good. And yeah, so Juno's gonna do her best. I think that that's like, oh wait, what was Tem's role in the play? Was Tem Adler before Rui was Adler? Because maybe that's why the picture of Juno's in the OP, because those were all of the Adlers. Because like I think that like the whole thing is that like that guy wanted Tem's part. But what was Tem's part? Wasn't Tem's part Adler, and then Rui was like, actually, I'll take Adler. You can do something else, right? No, I think Rui was Adler from the start. I don't know if that would make a lot of sense, because Rui was always the star, like, to kind of begin with. But maybe, I don't know, maybe he did replace Tem, right? I don't know, because there was like a cast shuffle, right? Because then Legoshi ended up like being in the cast somehow, right? Like all of the parts got like moved around or something. I don't know. Maybe he wasn't. Maybe it's just like coincidence, but I still think that that's interesting, right? I won't let the selfish adults suspend our club. The school started to change. Everyone realized the importance of co-ed, right, Juno? And I love, like, again, sort of like that gal pals relationship that we have going on. They're like brushing each other's fur. I just thought that that was like really nice. I guess like what I'm realizing a lot is that I know that this is kind of like off topic for what we're talking about, but Hunter said something in the Pride podcast, which is probably out on the Calxiyn, the Queen's Court podcast, Calxiyn's the Queen's Court podcast channel. Like by the time you guys are watching this review, the podcast channel is probably up and has at least like the first 2 podcasts that we did just re-uploaded, and then maybe like a 3rd new one. But I think Hunter had said like during that video, like part of the reason why she realized that she was trans was because through Ruby and like reading a lot of like Ruby fan fiction. And I guess it was like the realization that like the craving or the want to read the RWBY fan fiction, wasn't for like the adventures they went on, or even just like liking the show. It wasn't for the adventures they went on, or it wasn't for, you know, like fighting monsters or trying to change the world, but it was for that like experience of having like all these female characters, and then also, you know, having like a sisterhood and a bond between them. Like, you know, like I guess you could say, like, if it was from like the RWBY's POV, let's pretend, like being in like the eyes, I guess, of like a female character, right? And then also like having that female character have all female character friends as well, like in the context of, again, fan fiction and like somewhat the show to a degree, right? And so I just feel like that is the crux of, I think, why I really liked this episode, right? Because it's something like genuinely kind of like special in that way. So Juno is in her underwear here for some reason, so I had to kind of get around this, but basically what they're talking about is like, oh, right, like, yeah, like we need to like stand up more than ever, right? Like that's the conversation that's going on, and Juno says of course, but then on the inside she doesn't want to admit why. What's wrong with separating us? And then she goes on to say like, why don't they get it? We need distance between us. And I feel like that's very interesting for Juno's character, is that she's like, I want to be friendly with the herbivores, but I'm gonna keep them at like arm's reach, like for their safety, or like arm's length, if that makes sense. Like she can't let anyone like into her heart truly until like Haru at the end of this episode, which I think is very fascinating, right? And so you see like, oh yeah, we'll do our best to support you. Freshmen never get the lead roles, right? And so like she just sees her, right? Els, I guess, just sees her as like a fellow freshman, or maybe even not a fellow freshman, because I think she's in Legoshi's year, right? But like, just like, you know, like what a big compliment, like, oh, you know, freshmen never get the lead roles, so you're just like so talented, Juno, right? And she says thank you, but then like it's kind of like a walk away, right? I'm happy about this, but you can keep your distance if you smile kindly. And so then we see a bunch of pictures of Juno, right? And so she's basically saying like, yes, I'm like happy. I think she's saying that she's happy to play Adler, and she's happy about getting the part, and like she's happy about, I guess, you know, the I don't want to call it attention as much as like the support. Yes, the support that she's gotten from her like other drama club members that are herbivores, but there is some extent where she's like, oh, you know, you can keep your distance if you smile kindly. And I think that like she's sort of thinking that like in the context of like both they smile kindly at her and she smiles kindly at them, and that doesn't like scare them, you know what I mean? Like she always has to be the one that like waves with a smile from far away, because if she gets too close they'll get spooked. Like I think that that's her mentality, and so she can maintain being well liked if she will stay at a distance, if she will stay like away from the herbivores. I feel like that's kind of what she means. Why can't they keep calm around herbivores, right? And so she's thinking, I think, of carnivores, right? Like it's so simple. So she's just saying like, the way that I keep calm around herbivores is by keeping them at an arm's length. Like, you know what I mean? Like you stay calm and you don't get overexcited when you don't, I guess, create like an actual bond with anyone, when you keep them at a distance. And then we see like a group of rabbits walking by, and we see Haru walking in the other direction, which I think was like kind of like a nice little metaphor for her character. And then also like the rabbits don't really fuck with her. We kind of saw that last season. And so then Juno actually sees Haru, right? So yeah, she sees Haru and she's like, the only herbivore that makes me lose control, right? Because she basically has the mentality of, if I hold everyone at an arm's length, I can be calm around herbivores and then not scare them. And then we can have kind of like a surface level like friendship, right? And support one another. That's her mentality. But Haru has gotten too close, and that's why Juno loses control, because Haru is a lot closer emotionally. That's what it is. Like, it's emotionally. Juno will not let in any herbivores emotionally because she doesn't want to, like, you know, scare them, and she wants to be able to remain calm around them. And the only way for her to do that is to keep everyone at a distance, is to kind of like put a wall around her for both their safety and then her emotional safety. The problem is that Legoshi is inside of her wall, right? Juno's wall, because Legoshi is not only a carnivore, but also like somebody that she's like in love with, right? And so by virtue of Legoshi being within her boundary and her giving emotional attention to Legoshi in the form of her like love for him, she has accidentally let Haru sneak in through the wall, because she cannot hold Haru at a distance, because Haru is emotionally attached to her in the way of jealousy and envy, you could say. And that's also why I like the framing of this scene, because Haru, obviously it's all grass in the background, and so it's almost like green with envy, right? So I think that that's the crux of it. Oh my god, my brain. Anyway, no, I feel like that that's the crux of it, right? Is that she doesn't let herself get emotionally invested in any of the herbivores, but she accidentally got emotionally invested in one, because there's one herbivore, right? Haru, that kind of broke into her world by accident, because by virtue of, you know, having Legoshi's romantic affections, which is something that she wants, she is emotionally invested in Haru, whether that's positive or negative. It is emotional attention. And so that's why she says, like, the only herbivore that can make me lose control, right? Because Haru is like in the wall, right? Oh, so she's the kind of girl Legoshi likes. In English, they were like, oh, Legoshi can sure pick him, right? I really liked that translation a bit more. And so Juno just follows her all the way up. Like, doesn't she have any friends? Like, she seems like genuinely almost concerned. I didn't even know we had a gardening club, right? And so Haru opens the door and she thinks that it's Legoshi because their footsteps sound the same, but then she's like, I'm not that heavy, right? Like a little offended. Hold on, I can't seem to remember your name. And I'm sure that this was genuine. Like, I don't think that Haru was being cheeky, but that's very insulting to Juno, obviously, because like, I don't want to say Haru's the other woman. But you know what I mean? Like, Haru, she's kind of maybe sees Haru as like competition, and now Haru is like rubbing it in her face that like Juno hasn't been mentioned enough by Legoshi for Haru to remember Juno's name. In a way, I don't think it was intentional, but like that's how you could read it, right? Yeah, and so look at that, like, oh, I know you're close to Legoshi, not as close as you. Like, look at the look on her face. She's just so mad. Anyway, I'm Juno, that's right. Did I ever introduce myself? Do you need something? Well, I'm not sure myself, sorry to disturb you. Like, she doesn't even know why she came up here. She just kind of got hypnotized, but then Haru grabs her, and like, you can see like Juno's like, what is happening? And then look at Haru's face, like, Haru looks crazy. Haru looks more scary than any carnivore, right? And so she basically, I don't want to say manipulates, but she's like, hey, you know, since you're here, come help me, right? A worm, no, don't kill it, right? Like, you need the worms for the soil, Juno, Jesus Christ, right? I didn't think you'd say yes. You say that, but you actually know how to handle the canines, right? And so she's just like, you know, Haru is using her manipulative wiles on all these carnivores to come help her, right? I'll bring a shovel. And so she goes to get a shovel, and she like, oh my god, this is like so me, but like in the worst way, and I'll get there, right? She's the only one in the club. Was it her diligence that attracted Legoshi? And so she can see like Haru's like good points, despite the fact like that, you know, Haru's again, like kind of like that, like other woman type situation, right? She can, you know, see, I guess, Haru's qualities, right? She has enough perseverance and enough vigilance? Vigilance. I don't think that's a word. Anyway, she's vigilant enough to maintain the gardening club all by herself. So yeah, Haru doing this is such a mood. Oh my god, I remember. So whenever I do like auditions, I do sing in this room, but I put up a curtain so they can't see like the stuff in the background. It's not because I'm like, oh man, I gotta hide the stuff, but it's more so like just for a cleaner look to the wall and everything. And I remember like I stood on this chair that has the wheels and like was trying to put something like up on the top of the bar right here where the ball pit balls are, because that's usually how I hang the curtain. And my mom was like, what are you doing? Like, get down from there, right? Like, you go get the ladder when you have to do stuff like that, because I didn't fall, but like I like kind of like lost my balance and I like jumped naturally down off the chair. So I was like, when Haru was doing this, I thought of me, because like, you know, she says something like, oh, I'm happy to cut corners or something like that, right? I didn't want to keep you waiting. I'm fine. I'm always risking my life to cut corners. And I'm like, that's such a big mood, but I've stopped doing that because now I have like an incurable like fear of death and just want to be wrapped in like bubble wrap or something. Like, I went from being reckless to like being the opposite, but anyway. And so I was just like, that's not something that you should be proud of, Haru, right? I guess Legoshi was attracted to you because you're small. So she starts talking about Legoshi and can't be left alone. Like, she starts saying that out loud, and you can tell that Haru, like, she seems kind of mad about it, right? And I think that she's also kind of mad about it because, what am I trying to say? She's mad about it too, because like that's how every guy has treated her, and I feel like that that's kind of a problem for Haru. Like, something that I've been talking about in the past was the fact that, like, you know, Legoshi wasn't like all the other guys that kind of like pitied her and stuff like that. And I think that like Legoshi has kind of fallen into like, but I want to protect you, Haru, da 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 da, right? Like all those like other guys, if that makes sense. And she doesn't really like want that per se. Maybe now she does from Legoshi, but like at the beginning, not really. And it's like, oh, are you attracted to me, Juno? And I love how she, like, you know, does this little, like, you know, she's kind of like this and like rocking back and forth. I can't do it because I'm in my chair, right? Like, it's a very like cutesy type thing. And then also like she's teasing her. Let's forget about him for now. I'm happy I got to talk to a girl. And I thought that was really sweet, especially because Haru has been bullied by like those other girls, right? That we saw in like season 1 and everything. So I thought that was really endearing that she's like, hey, I just want to be like happy talking to a girl, right? I wonder how many emotions are swirling inside me now. I didn't want to know how charming herbivores could be. I didn't want co-ed. Carnivores and herbivores should study separately. And I wonder too if Juno just thinks that out of her own like selfishness and her own like insecurity, right? Is that she only believed to keep like herbivores at a distance because she was like insecure of herself and finding out like how charming they are, and then feeling like she couldn't like live up to what herbivores could be, in a sense, right? Like maybe it came out of a place of like insecurity, like she didn't want to be around like, you know, other people that could like rival her in that way, so it was better if they stay separate. And then she like grabs her face and she's just like, oh, Haru's so cute, right? I feel like there's some bisexual energy coming off of Juno, right? It's because carnivores are no match for herbivores in that like way, obviously. And so I feel like that's really fascinating because, you know, throughout the entire show we've sort of heard the reverse, but like there's more than just physical strength, of course. And I feel like these past couple episodes are exploring, like, first of all, like herbivores can use like fear in order to I guess like mandate things that for the carnivores to do that aren't exactly like, that are kind of like teetering on like a violation of human rights, like the muscle atrophy thing, right? Like they can use fear in order to kind of like suppress different aspects of like the carnivores, right? So there must be herbivores in power, kind of similar to like Rui's dad and stuff like that. So like there's that, and then also the fact that like, yes, like the carnivores have physical strength, but what about like charm and popularity and kind of success through that method as well, right? And so I find that very interesting, right? And so she thinks that she's cute. Gosh, I'm not worthy of being a Beastar, right? And so now she realized that, like, you know, she is, I don't want to say too insecure, but she, I think, kind of saw like herbivores as her rivals. And so she's like, I can never be supportive of species equality like Rui. Like I am not supportive enough, right? Because of my own like shortcoming. And so how can I be the Beastar, right? Do you know where Rui is? We see Haru's mood change completely here, right? Like, oh, you know Rui? He was worried about you. Then she says, you should contact him right away. I'll head back. And so I feel like that's kind of like going to cause problems. Does that make sense? I feel like that's gonna be a problem because Rui literally, like, she called him. She got up the effort and like the motivation, I guess you could say, to call him, and he literally like broke his phone and like tossed it, like, you know, God knows where. So I feel like that we may get a situation where A, Haru decides to get over Rui because clearly Rui wants like nothing to do with her anymore, or B, she goes to the black market looking for him, which will cause problems. Now, I don't always want Haru to be the damsel in distress. However, I feel like that Rui is going to learn a tough lesson today, and that lesson is that the more you push people away, the more the worse it can become. I feel like he's trying to push Haru away because he is not like the fragile, you know, herbivore that she thought that he once was, right? Because they have that conversation, like the conversation that he dreams about, I'm assuming was true, is that she was like, oh, we're both fragile, we're both frail, well, I don't know how things would be, I can't imagine you as a carnivore, but Rui is trying to be a carnivore and herbivore skin, basically, right? And so I feel like that, like, Haru will go down there and get in trouble, and Rui will be like, you know what, I stayed away from you to like protect you from this darkness and protect you from the underworld, but you ventured into the underworld because of me, like, I'm sorry, you know, like something like that I think could definitely happen. Or she just decides to like get the fuck over it, you know what I mean? And she's like, Legoshi, I'm finally over Rui because I finally understand like that he has like problems, I guess, you know what I mean? Like he has problems and hangups that like you don't have, type of thing, right? And so I love this too, is that she has to leave before you ruin my life like you did with the boys. And so I feel like that, again, that could hint at like, again, some bisexual energy. So here's like the thing. I know that they are more, I don't want to say sentient, but like, you know what I mean? Like they're personified, right? They're like humans. They just have like animal, you know, features, I guess you could say, right? And so they have free will, they have like, you know, conscious thought and stuff. And so basically all of this to say, you know, there is homosexuality like that can be researched, I guess, researched, perceived in like animals, right? Like it's not just humans, like animals also like, if you want to call it participate, right? I don't know how to describe animals that well, right? Like real world animals, like basically animals are also gay is what I'm trying to say. But like, I wonder in this world, does sexuality work more like it works with like humans, you know what I mean? Or is it kind of like they don't really like have, you know, like I don't know, and they don't have like sexuality in the same way that we do, because I feel like a lot of animals are gay and obviously they don't care that they're gay, you know what I mean? Like it's just like because animals don't have like the same conscious thought that we, I don't know, I'm just saying like maybe there's like less hang-ups about it like in their world for whatever reason, because like that's just a part of like instinct is like just like fucking around and not caring that much, because obviously like animals also have like an instinct to like mate and stuff, but then sometimes like animals just want to like, I don't know, they just want to do stuff, I guess. Anyway, I don't know, this is such a weird conversation, but I was thinking about that and I was wondering, just because a lot of the characters seem to feel almost romantically towards like, you know, characters of the same like gender within the show. And so I wonder if that would be like less of a like a big thing like in terms of like their world, because that would be seen as just another facet of like animal instinct, like everyone is just bisexual in Beastars, something like that. I don't know, like, you know what I mean? I have no idea. And so yeah, so you see Haru, like she gets like sad and then she starts, I don't think that she's thinking of this because Rui said it was a dream, but I think that, you know, having the courage to call him and him not answering, I feel like is going to be such a blow to her that he may go like looking, that she may go looking for him, I guess I should say, right? And so, right, we see this conversation between them. If I were a carnivore, I'd probably find you much tastier, right? I can't imagine you being a carnivore. So that's like strike one in terms of like new Rui, I guess you could say, right? We both have soft, fragile hands. That's strike two. Like Rui doesn't want to be fragile. I'm sure we're both tasty. I'm not gonna say that's strike three, but anyway, it's comfortable being around another fragile creature. That's strike four. You know what I mean? That's actual strike three. And so I think that that's the problem, is because like Rui is realizing that he is not even what Haru wants anymore. Like he is not the same person, or I guess he's not what Haru wants in him, because I don't think that Haru wants that anymore, because obviously she has interest and her sights set on Legoshi. Clearly she said that before. However, I do think that that's kind of like an interesting facet in all this, when you think about it, is that like in terms of what she wants out of Rui, or what attracted her to Rui, that part of Rui is gone. And so I think that when she finds that out, then she can like move on and like fully commit to being with Legoshi. At the same time, what if Rui has like facets of himself that are found in Legoshi, and so she likes him more? Because you could say that Legoshi is becoming more like a herbivore and Rui is becoming more like a carnivore. And so what part of Legoshi does Haru like? Does she like the carnivore side that he is now kind of, he's working to get stronger but also to get rid of in a way, right? You know? And then did she like the carnivore side, and now Rui has more of a carnivore side, right? Like, you know, something like that. That's basically what I'm thinking about. So anyway, I think that I'm a little worried about that, right? I no longer feel anything about herbivore meat being for sale. That was kind of like a weird thing to say. Like, I guess he was saying, why am I dreaming about Haru right now? Like, you know, like maybe it's like a stress dream. Like, I'm not stressed. I don't feel anything about like herbivore meat being for sale or something, right? And so then we have a very interesting scene here, because it's kind of implied that like the roles have been like quote unquote reversed. And I did read the Reddit for this one. Again, I do read the Reddit every time before I do a review. And what I found was interesting is that there were a variety of opinions. Like some people thought that this was like he's gonna eat the stuff, he's gonna eat the bits, you know what I mean? He's gonna eat the bits off of this alligator, if that makes sense. Like, you know what I mean? Because in some cultures, like you know, eating certain parts of an animal is supposed to like be like good fortune or like cure you depending on your ailment. Like some women may eat X, I don't know, let's just pretend, because they want to like conceive and they think that that will like increase their fertility. Like it's kind of like old wives' tale type stuff. I don't know if there's actual like scientific backing for that, but you know, some women will eat like such and such because they want to like have a baby. Like that's like the whole thing in some cultures. Some people thought it was that. other people said that crocodile bits are always, let's just say on command. I don't know how else to phrase this. Are always standing at attention, okay? And so some people think that he may want to attach that to himself, like this goat man may want to attach the bits to himself so he can fuck his wife like a dildo, I guess you could say. So we don't really know what's happening here. Like, we don't know what he's gonna do with it. We don't know if he thinks, like, because some people said, like, oh yeah, there's still the belief in some places that exotic animals or eating parts from exotic animals will, like, cure fertility or, like, cause X, Y, and Z. But some people also said that it could be more literal than that and actually using the body parts. So the reason why I said that this was a role reversal, right, is because okay, so first of all, this man is being, like, sectioned off. But remember, like, the herbivore that was selling his fingers at the black market? I think what, like, Rui kind of implies here is that everyone is equal in the black market in a weird way. Even carnivores sell themselves, right, for money as well, right? That seems to be, like, the implication, and a couple people said that, and so I think that that's interesting, right? Kaimon bodies are very rare. He sounds fishy as ever. Hey, don't interfere with their business. We're here because you said your stock was causing a ruckus, but he's totally calm. Well, I'm doing this for the money, right? So that's kind of weird, is that they called the Shishigumi, but maybe they're worried about him, like, causing a ruckus, right? Like, after he goes, like, through the operation, right? And so, yeah, he's doing this for the money. And so it's basically like how, like, the guy at the black market was selling his fingers and was like, hey, you know, if you want a bite of my hand, it'll cost this. If you want a bite of this, it'll cost that, right? And so you can actually see, right, if I can, like, get past, like, his lower area, so to speak, right, is that you can see that they sectioned off, like, his body or whatever, right? I wonder if they're just planning to kill this man or what, like, you know what I mean, right? Because he says, please pick a part that won't mess me up too much, you know? And so I feel like that's sort of like an odd, I don't know, like, it's odd that they mapped out, like, everything on his body and what it could be worth, right? So he does say dear ingredient, so that could give more credence to the idea that he's going to eat the bits, I guess, if that makes sense, right? 37, I'm in trouble with my loans, a distortion of reverse positions, right? So that's what Rui is saying, right? Is that the situations have reversed, and now a carnivore is like, you know, needs some money and needs something, like, from a herbivore, basically. You see, my legs have been paralyzed for the last 10 years, but just once before I die, I want to enjoy a night with my wife. And I'm like, sir, you're too old for that. You know what I mean? Please, no. Yes, sir, right? And so then you can see also, these little, like, mice guys. So again, like, these very small creatures. And so I guess that's why they called the Shishigumi, just in case, like, you know, this guy acted out and, like, the mice got hurt. Because he could, like, even though he's, like, tied up or whatever, he could, like, crush, like, one of those mice still, like, with his free hand, right? And so they're like, yes, sir, ready to remove. And I'm like, what did he just say? So it does seem like they host him up, right? And I love this because Ibuki covers Rui's eyes, and I love this. Ibuki, isn't it too late to show parental love? And I love that because that was my whole thing about Ibuki being, like, a surrogate dad, and that made me so happy, like, irrationally happy. But then Rui is just like, listen, I saw, like, worse things when I was, like, in a cage in the black market. This is much better than my childhood home, right? I wonder, like, about all the implications of that. Like, I wonder, like, the extent of what happened to, like, Rui and everything, right? All of them are cowards who are shriveled up in society, right? So we say, like, this is a place kind of where herbivores and carnivores can be equal because they're all cowards in one way, right? I hope you're not thinking of jumping off. Jesus Christ, right? And so what's interesting is Ibuki, I get it. Oh, okay, so the guy had all those marks, like, sectioned off for which one of his body parts was, like, worth anything, right? So Ibuki is saying, oh, the fatigue recovery, the marking. Ibuki saying that I've been there too, like, I was once at rock bottom and needed the money. And so I guess there may be some sort of like old wives' tale about like if you eat a lion's meat or arm, like that'll recover your fatigue or something. Because at first I thought it was a stamp from like a mental hospital, but now I get it. I think it's his marking from when he tried to sell himself too at some time. We both know what it's like to hit rock bottom, right? And so I wonder, like, what part did you give up, Ibuki? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm a little like, right? And oh my God, what if Ibuki also had his bits cut off and that's why, like, he's infertile and he'll never have children, right? Like, in his youth, that happened, and now, like, that's why he wants to see, like, Rui as, like, the son he will never have because his bits got cut off, right? I ran away on my own and made it all the way here. Or it could also imply that he was like in a cage as well at one time, like kind of like how Rui was, but I don't know. I think it's more the carnivore selling, right? As a kid, I was sold as live bait, but now I'm looking down on the black market. I thought I already knew, but now it's seeping through my body. A vulnerable way of life is filled with sin, right? And so I feel like that he's basically, again, sort of talking about like the life here, right? And so I feel like that's why he looks at his phone, is that he is now like filled with sin, and like Haru does not want full of sin, right? Obviously. And so that's why he drops his phone. He's basically, I don't want to say dropping Haru in a sense, but like it's like Haru would not like the man that he is now. But I feel like that this is going to convince Haru to like go after Rui. Maybe she'll like go after him with Legoshi, like she'll ask Legoshi to go with her, but she also doesn't like to bother people, so I feel like that she will go by herself, maybe like with a hood on or something, and like Legoshi will be doing his training and like see her out the window, and he'll be like, Haru, what the fuck, bro? Like, don't you know that this is not a good idea? This is not where you should be. And she's like, I want to go see Rui. So that's, I guess, my prediction going forward. I'm still kind of like, about like the murderer thing. Like, we're just leaving Riz, like, you know what I mean? We're letting Riz live his life. Like, where's the confession to the police, bro? You know what I mean? But maybe it's coming. I don't know. Maybe there's hope. Maybe we can still win. That's the only thing that I'm like, I can't believe they revealed the murderer only for Legoshi to do fuck all. You know? Like, that's how I feel right now. But I guess we'll see, right? I think that they needed this as like a palate cleanser to some extent, but I would prefer not to see Legoshi at all if that was the case. You know what I mean? Like, it would have been better to not see Legoshi in this episode, period, because like then you could argue, well, oh, Legoshi's off screen, maybe he's doing something about the murderer. But instead, we saw Legoshi on screen and he's not doing shit. So that's it for me, everyone. I hope that you guys enjoyed my review. Thank you for attending Calxiyn's Royal Court today, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!